What's up, Team No T, and welcome back to UnWrapped. I'm Tasha Pierce, and thank you for joining me again at the intersection of pop culture and common sense. We're still diverting our conversations to democracy, which is currently on the brink in the US. And today I'm going to talk about our Constitution, the rising tensions in our country, and the role that law enforcement will play in what comes next. We are currently in a moment where the lines between democracy and authoritarianism are starting to blur, where executive power is being used like a hammer, bypassing the checks and balances our founders built into this system. And with each passing week, the temperature rises, not just politically, but literally. As summer approaches, we know the protests are coming. That's not a threat, it's history. It's what free people do when their voices are being ignored. So, when the protests come, law enforcement is going to be front and center. I'm not here to demonize police officers. I'm not here to argue with you about who you voted for or what party you align with. I'm here to speak to your humanity, to your oath. You took it to uphold the Constitution, to protect and serve your community, not to protect politicians, not to serve agendas. Your duty is to the people, all of the people. There will be moments, maybe sooner than we think, when you're asked to do something that doesn't sit right, something that crosses a line. Maybe it's breaking up a peaceful protest. Maybe it's targeting immigrants or criminalizing dissent. In those moments, I ask you to pause, breathe, remember your training, remember your integrity, and remember that oath. Let me take you back to May 4th, 1970, Kent State University. Students were protesting the Vietnam War. The National Guard showed up. Tensions were high, nerves were shot, and then shots rang out. Four students were killed. But here's the part that's not always told. Most of the guardsmen didn't fire. In fact, many of them refused direct orders to shoot. They recognized that these people were not enemies, they were not enemy combatants, they were kids, Americans. They were people using their voices. That day, although it still was a tragedy, that little bit of restraint saved lives. A refusal to follow a bad order became a quiet act of bravery.
You probably know Officer Eugene Goodman from his bravery that day, including saving Senator Mitt Romney from the mob. Well, now, in an interview with the podcast called Three Brothers, No Sense, the officer described what that day was like.
When you see me come up the stairs and you see me look, before I had went down the stairs to look at the door, people were actually out there and standing around and all that kind of stuff. So told them I think they're downstairs. So when I went down there and I get confronted by people, I'm like, oh, heck, they're actually in the building. I honestly didn't know that they were that far in the building. So, and then they lock eyes on me right away. And then just like that, I was in it. So it wasn't a matter of let me leave them alone or not. I feel like they would have followed me anyway.
Fast forward to January 6th, 2021. We all saw the footage. Rioters storming the Capitol. An insurrection was taking place, an attempt to overturn an election. And while some security failed, many officers, especially from the DC Metropolitan Police, held the line. One such officer was Eugene Goodman. He literally led a mob away from the Senate chamber alone to give lawmakers an opportunity to evacuate. He didn't do it for applause. He didn't know nobody was even going to see him doing it. He did it because his oath wasn't to any one person, it was to the Constitution. So, if you're an officer listening today, I am not asking you to be a hero. I'm asking you to be what you already are at your best: protectors of peace, upholders of justice, professionals who serve people, not politics. Don't let yourself be used. Don't become someone's muscle in a political game. Because one day soon, a young protester might be standing across from you, holding a sign that says freedom, and someone might tell you to push them down or to gas them, to arrest them, or worst case scenario, to shoot them. And in that moment, I hope you remember that protester is your neighbor, your kid's teacher, your fellow American, and the Constitution protects them just as much as it protects you. I know many of you join the force to make a difference, and you still can. When the system leans towards injustice, be the balance. When others lose their heads, be the calm. History has its eyes on all of us, but especially on those of us with the power to enforce the law. What you do in the coming weeks and months will matter. It'll be written about, talked about, remembered. And when your kids or grandkids ask where you stood, what will you say? I believe you'll do the right thing. I believe there are far more good officers of the goddamn law than bad. I believe you know the difference between protecting power and protecting people. And I believe that if we walk this road with clear eyes and steady hands, we can come out on the other side still calling this a democracy. That is what we're up against. I am pleading with you today to be on the right side of history. So thank you for spending these few minutes with me today. And I need you to stay vigilant. I need you to stay principled. And as always, stay true to the values that actually made this country great. I'll be back soon. But until then, remember, you deserve truth. You deserve freedom. And you deserve a future worth fighting for. And all of that is so much more than just tea. Peace.
Every click, every share, y'all make us fly. Together we shine brighter than the sky. From shout outs to comments, we see every word. Y'all the reason Tasha's voice gets heard. Subscribers growing, lighten up the day. With your support, we'll never fade away. Thank you, UnWrapped fam, you keep us strong. Keep us strong. Your love and your faith help us move along. Help us move along. Every click, every share, y'all make us fly. Y'all make us fly. Together we shine brighter than the sky. Brighter than the sky. Roll call for the peeps who keep it alive. Patron super chats all here on the drive. Tasha got the mic, but you fuel the vibe. This channel's a party and y'all keep it live.
Monthly supporters, give y'all a cheer. Live stream energy, you bring the gear. Every episode's magic, cause of y'all's touch.